Hey everyone, and welcome to stage 6 of the second season of our Timeline Park contest. In this video I'm going to show you all the entries that were made for stage 6 of the Timeline Park contest. I'm going to show you all the entries that were made by all the players who are still in this contest. To switch things up for this video, I'm going to start in reverse alphabetical order. So the first player I'm going to show the entry from is Seklar. Okay, here's the entry from Seklar. As you can see, he made a new area here full of water rides. So here we have a lazy river made with these bumper boats and a single rail coaster thingy around it. But I would recommend this putting some scenery around this rail, because it kind of looks a little bit weird with this just water being around it. Probably could use some rocks and plants around it, just to give it a bit of maybe a tropical feel. Some other rides here as well. Here we can see this flying saucer ride on top of water. I also kind of like making those. We can see a dinghy slide here, or a double water slide. And over here there's this log flume. Yeah, quite nice. Although this area over here where the boats slow down does look a little bit short. Yeah, overall I think it's quite nice. Okay, here's the entry from Uno Reverser Coaster. Another water park section. Here you can see this swimming pool, looks like. What I like is that he actually throws an entertainer here, and using this peep editor plugin, he actually gave it the skin of a guest. I think that's the first time I see someone actually use this trick, and yeah, I'm definitely going to use this in my parks as well. This is a pretty cool trick. We can see a really nice pair of slides here. That looks really cool. I like this color scheme. And you can also see a big building here. It looks like an arcade section. So probably if we use the cutaway view, not really sure if that will reveal anything. So yeah, it looks like a laser tag arena here. That's pretty cool. And we can see this arcade hall here. So yeah, a really nice addition here to the park from Uno Reverser Coaster. The park is really taking shape. Alright, here's the entry from The Shack. Now, in his story, he didn't really point really well to the new areas of the park. I believe he made the super duper looper here. Yeah, I think I would recommend giving it a bit more of a sturdy track, so maybe the B&M track, just to yeah, make it beef it up a little bit. And I believe over here he made a new ride as well, this Red October. Now, for some reason this ride has really low stats, intensity rating of 0, nausea rating of 0, and excitement rating of exactly 8. So I wonder if he actually manipulated these stats. But yeah, this intensity and nausea rating definitely aren't really good, so that's why yeah, nobody really seems to be riding it. So maybe that could be improved. These stats definitely look a little bit fishy. Now, it's also a ride here which says ignore please, so that's what we're gonna do. Alright, here's the park from Savvy Adam. So in the last stage he added this really cool coaster. I believe he also added this water slide in the last round. I believe he did. In this round he added this pair of drop towers here. I believe one of them is launched, the other one is a drop tower. Over here, yeah, this one is a launched one for sure. And this one has downward launch, yeah. So here we see this dark ride inside this building over here. That looks pretty cool. Oh yeah, I always quite like how these rides look. A little shoestring. And over here we have, it's called the sit-on lawnmower races. Yeah, that's quite a cool way to do these, to use these go-karts as lawnmowers. I think that actually kind of works. Maybe would have been cool if he substituted the go-karts for maybe bumper boats. Not actually sure if that's possible. I think you can exchange them or substitute them with flying saucer vehicles using the right vehicle editor plugin. But the problem is that they actually go really slow. But yeah, I think this actually works. It looks pretty cool. Alright, here we see the entry from our Adrian 1994. Now he gave the entrance area an overhaul. I believe it's a new entrance building over here. You can see some souvenir stall. This was the area where a ride burned down in the last episode. We can now see a picnic area here. Some nice tables and some umbrellas on top. That looks pretty nice. And over here in this area, a wild mouse coaster was added, nicely tucked away here in the corner. I really like how our Adrian 1994 DT supports, and yeah, also this these nice and colorful fences on the side. I think with this yeah, overhaul of this area, the park is now ripe for a big new expansion. Alright, here we have the park from OpenRCT2. Looks like this tower over here was added. I think it looks pretty nice. I quite like these lights. Although the recolorable version of these does look like it has a little glitch in the animation. Yeah, definitely something to that probably could use some fixing in this park. So that the road over here actually is broken up in or disconnected in some parts. So definitely something that probably should be fixed. Also I saw some fences here that have a different color. Don't know if that's intentional, but it sure does look a little bit messy. Also lots of undecorated grass and area in the park. That definitely would make the park look nicer if that was fixed in the next stage. Okay, here's the entry from Old School, always one of my favorites. We can see this building over here that's on fire. We can see the fire department working on extinguishing it. I hope the rain will actually help a bit. But yeah, I believe the park had some hardships. There's not too many guests in the park. Number is quite low. So yeah, definitely an interesting part in the story. We can also see some construction work going on here. So yeah, I hope this sets the stage for yeah, let's say a big comeback for the park. At least it's nice in the way of storytelling. These new areas, yeah, for sure they will. I hope they set the stage for an expansion of the park. Let's put it like that. Right, here's the new addition from Nova. He added this log flume over here with all these big pirate buildings around it. For the log flume, I think it looks pretty nice here. Although for a log flume, I would always advise actually having track here instead of just putting these monorails around it. I believe log flumes typically always actually go inside an actual log flume track. For river rapid boats, they often have a little bit more space, but log flumes should really be guided. So that's really what I recommend. This looks a little bit strange to me. Also, when you make a track like this, I really recommend yeah, putting stuff around the track like rock work, etc. Because this is just the barrier that would guide the boats or rafts, and with rocks surrounding them, it will look much more natural. Right, here's the entry from Memes RCT. Now he added this, I believe he added this jet ski ride over here. Now I believe these barrels are put here to show where the track goes. But yeah, these barrels are all spread out so much that in most of the parts it is a little bit difficult to actually see where the track is. So maybe that could have been improved a little bit. For example, if you really want to show where the track is, probably it could have been done maybe like this. I know, I'm not really sure if barrels are the correct object to use for this. Perhaps just to put a few markers, but yeah, definitely it now just looks like I don't know, maybe a ship full of barrels just crashed here, and now all the cargo is littered in the water. But yeah, definitely I think this part could use some improvement. But overall, I think the park's looking quite nice. I never really used these palm trees myself, but like the way they're used here, I think they actually work quite nicely. Alright, here's Bonbonland from Jessanden. Now, of course, the main addition in this stage is this ride called Vildsvinet. I believe it's Danish for wild boar. Yeah, I think he did a really nice job recreating this Eurofighter coaster. Now, I think saw some comments that might be a little bit too high, the first drop at least. But of course, for a Eurofighter coaster, you really want to have this beyond 90 degree drop. And yeah, for that to work, you really need a tall tower like this. Although that does make this transition here quite sudden, if you don't make it very tall. But yeah, I think Jason did a really nice job here. He also captured the color scheme of the coaster quite nicely. I think it's a beautiful addition to the park. So did a really nice job recreating this station here and all the decorations. Yeah, it's just a great addition once again from Jason, and I cannot wait to see what he builds in the next episode. Alright, here's the entry from Herbart. Now, he didn't do too much in this round. I believe he only just revamped the entrance area. Here we can see this boat through which the guests enter. You can see the airfield here. See some buildings here, this tree hut here in the middle. See a little twist ride over here. There's this coaster here called Forest Frenzy. But yeah, one thing that probably should be fixed is that if I go around here, especially the bottom of the screen, you can see that the water here is a little bit glitchy. And you can prevent that by taking these underwater objects. And you can see they're now, in Tile Inspector, you can see they're now above surface. And when you move them below surface, then they will no longer make the water glitchy as you move around. So I would recommend Herbart to do that for all the underwater objects. Alright, here's the entry from Fidwell. And yeah, the park is definitely looking, starting to look more complete. I believe the story said something about the people who stranded here making contact with some visitors from a nearby planet, and more of those people are actually visiting the park. So yeah, it's nice to see this grow. I believe this building over here is new, and I think it looks great. I think it's quite a nice color scheme that Fidwell is using here. The story also said something about the concern that they had for the aliens that are captured in this building. I wonder how they are going to fit in the story in the future. But yeah, I think maybe it could be nice if this ride over here was actually expanded for the next story. That could actually be quite fun to see this ride over here develop over time. Who knows what Fidwell has in store for us. Oh yeah, this ride over here was also new. It's called G-Force. And actually it looks like... right. So it looks like an Enterprise, but there's actually a shoestring ride just traveling around it. I believe this is G-Force accelerator, which is actually... people are actually now using it as an attraction. I think this is really nicely done. Alright, here's the entry from Alec Derrick, and I believe he added this airplane ride over here. Yeah, you can see the guests entering these planes over here, and also exiting on the other side. Here they go in the water, here they lift off. They travel around the island. You can see them go around here. And finally, after they have done their tour around the island, they land in the water again here with a big splash, almost running into these submarines. Well, I think that's a fun ride. I also made a few of these in parks that I did several years ago. I think it's always fun to have these airplanes traveling around your park. Okay, here's the entry from Delta Oclude. Now I think the park is looking more and more complete. That's really nice. I see he also changed up the color scheme of the cars in the parking lot. So that's that's really nicely done. And the cars also are no longer at weird angles. So that's definitely a big improvement of the parking lot. Now, I really like how the park here is coming together. Not sure if these towers were already here, but it's definitely a nice eye catcher in the park. And I really like the way this queue here is done. It's yeah, it's pretty looks pretty simple, but I think this queue yeah, it's just done in a really nice way. It actually looks quite nice with this combination of the gray and blue and the gray and red with these fences and these little coverings. Yeah, that's just really nicely done. So I think this is a wonderful addition to the park, and it definitely looks more and more complete every round. Okay, here's the addition from Gazulius. So here we can see the big, I believe it's called Beaver Island. And it looks like it has gotten a nice new roller coaster. So here we can see this dive coaster. It's really sits here in the middle of the park. Definitely a good eye catcher. I think Gazulius did a great job here on the supports of the coaster. This looks really great. Also like the color scheme, it fits really well in the park. So these paths under the coaster are great. You can see a big banana decoration. I believe the coaster is called Bananarama. So that explains this this decoration here. Yeah, it's just a wonderful looking station for the coaster as well. So this coaster really has everything. Nice supports, nice station, good interaction. So yeah, wonderful job from Gazulius. Alright, here's the entry from Bags. And in this round, he added this extraterrestrial area. So it's basically in addition to this part that was already there with the blob from outer space and these crop circles. So now we have this really nice looking shuttle coaster here. This looks fantastic. I really like this barn station. Also the supports around and below it. Bags actually showed me some drawings which he used to recreate this ride. 1984, so that's probably around the age that these rides were actually created. Yeah, we can also see a tower here. I believe this. So these rides used to be launched by having a weight in a big tower, and then the weight was dropped and would pull on a cable, which would propel the car forward. So you can actually see, yeah, one of these launched freefall cars go downward here as the car is launched. So that's a really cool detail. Yeah, also a little shoestring ride here, and it's also an actual drop tower here. So yeah, I think this is a really cool addition. Very nice and detailed. Yeah, I think Bags did a wonderful job here, especially on this shuttle loop. Right, and here's the final park. This one's from 7373737. He added this single rail coaster in the park. Yeah, it's kind of an unconventional layout, but of course it's an alien park, so I guess you could expect unconventional layouts that travels in and out of these rocks here. It's a large lift hill over here. I believe this path here on this big monorail is also new, and I guess it would tire out the guests. We can also see some entertainers dancing around here on this monorail path. Alright, those were all the entries that were made for Stage 6. I hope you enjoyed watching all these new additions to the park. There will be 11 stages for this year in the Timeline Park contest, so we're over the halfway point here. Alright, I hope you enjoyed watching all these parks. I hope you enjoyed watching all these creations. If you liked this video, please consider giving it a like. It would really help out my channel and it would make me really happy. So it would be nice if you could leave a comment. Just let me know what you think of this video. Of course, also a big shout out to my patrons, who I will show on the screen now. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you again in the next one. See you later.